Right, so we got back late yesterday, not too late, but traffic late from Santa Pod yesterday. We had 2-day event and we did 9 runs yesterday, all in the 9s, if we forget about my abortion and a run, but anyway. So every run that we did, were in the 9 seconds, so we're as consistent as we can be. When we're looking deep in the data, we're not as consistent as we thought we were, but anyway, a bit of a tongue twister. So we said, we knew because a mile an hour down, and then we did a compression test that we were getting some leakage. We didn't think it was from the bores, didn't really think it was from the inlet valves. We thought it was from the exhaust valves. So when we've come back, it might be difficult to see on the valve, because they're all a bit damp. Let's try and pick one that's, this one's come out of that cylinder. Pretty difficult to see. Can't really see on that one. I should have had it prepared which exact one we're going to use, but this is the one that we're going to look at the piston. Yeah, they've all got too much going on to be able to see, but basically, see a little bit on that one. The valves have not been seating against the head properly. We knew that anyway, why we weren't too sure. When we've had a little look at the head, there's no damage to any of the seats are absolutely fine. There's a tiny bit of evidence that the piston has been hitting the head, but must only be a tiny little bit, otherwise it'd be completely clean. Ignore Paul grinding. The clearances that we've got and the tolerances that we're working to on this, and how we're revving it, how hot we're getting it, stuff like that can happen, so we're not too worried. What we do know next time we put it together, we're going to hope to have a little bit more clearance on the edge to the piston, which we're already stretching that a little bit far, but clearly we need a little bit more. There's no point ignoring the problem that we can see in front of us. So what we're going to do, we're going to measure the piston protrusions. I'm hoping that because that one's cylinder 4, I'm hoping that cylinder 4 is just sticking up 0.05 more than the others. If we skim that one down a little bit, I'll be happy. We're going to have to coat the pistons again anyway, for the reasons we'll go over and have a look now. You can just see here, might have to highlight it on the video, but just on the edge here of the valve relief that we cut into these pistons, because normally they don't look anything like this. I'll put a picture up of what a standard piston looks like. But normally these have got no cutouts and a smaller bowl than this. We cut these cutouts in. But the problem we've got is the valve must be expanding, the pistons all sort of it's going to be like nearly molten at this point, 1300-1400 degrees EGTs. The valve just clipped the edge of the relief, just on the radius where the relief is. So rather than going deeper, because we're not hitting straight into them, we're just going to go a tiny bit bigger on the reliefs, just for our engine really. We don't really need to do it for anybody that's got these pistons already, unless they're using it for this sort of use, which I don't think anybody's pushing these engines this hard. So what you can see as well, looking at this, the bowl is absolutely perfect. No melting, no burning, no deformation. It's not started melting on. So tip there, around the edges. It's took a long time for us to know what modifications, exactly which parts to use, everything in this engine. It's not been an easy road to get to the point where this engine could take this abuse. There'll be some clarification, I'm sure, because I always get things wrong. But this specific engine has done 31 runs at Santa Pod. I think 20 odd of them were in the 9s, all at over 140 mile an hour. It did, I'm sure I weren't there to be fair, but I'm sure it were about 15 quarter-mile runs at TOTB. We didn't do any half-mile runs that time. And absolutely tons, we're talking hundreds, like 200 to 300 dyno pulls, this engine. So don't get me wrong, that doesn't equate to 50,000 miles, but as far as the power it's getting, how far we're pushing it, we've done good that this is the only thing that went wrong. Talking about the pistons, we're just in the middle of doing some work here. This is an engine that didn't fare so well, so if you look at the pistons in this one, this was bug jam last year when we did a decent time. I can't remember exactly what time we did. I think we did get into the 9s there, but then the pistons just turned like aero chocolate, melted, and what that ended up doing, which was even more catastrophic, I'm not sure if we've got any pictures of it, what it did, we might have somewhere, but the little bits of piston got stuck in between the exhaust valves then, and then basically what you ended up with were just like pure molten metal just pouring out into the exhaust ports, and that ended up blowing the exhaust port into the water jacket, into the oil galleries, and just absolutely blew everything to bits. So this block, it's scrap as far as this is concerned, because it's 81mm bore. I don't like going any bigger than that for these engines, but we've got something a little bit interesting going into this block. It's not for this video, it's probably not going to be this year, but there's something interesting happening with this, so we'll keep everybody updated on this one. So we're going to get some new valves in this, that's what these are. The valves are in here, and this engine, it's not been running the biggest inlet valves that we've got. These are the next size up, so we're going to cut new inlet valves in, new same size replacement exhaust valves, and we'll see what happens. We've got another few ideas how we can make this head even better, but we've proven already it's not necessary to go any further. But at the run that we did, it weren't yesterday the fastest run, it was the day before. But the fastest run that we did was still only at 40% nitrous. We turned it up to 50 and went a little bit faster but not quicker, and then the next run we had the nitrous bottle had leaked down and all sorts of stuff. So there's absolutely tons left in this. This engine's by no means at the limit. The PD engines that we had at 500 horsepower, maybe a bit more at the track, that were it. We couldn't get any more from them. Obviously you can make them go faster if the car's light and you're a good driver and everything comes together, but we're just happy that we're not at the end of this engine. So see what else we can do. We're not going to go too radical with this next iteration of the build, but then the next one after that is almost certainly going to have a lot more head modifications, might even have a bigger turbo. And then, like I said, with that block, we're going to do some interesting stuff with there. We might end up getting to the point. We thought we'd be at the point of the pistons just melting every time we went out in this, and we're nowhere near that at the minute, so really happy. Hopefully this has been interesting to have a little look inside the Arosa. We're not doing any wizardry, no magic, just measure twice, cut once. Tends to work pretty well for us, so thank you.